Hey coaches out there. Today we're diving into The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz.
Oh, interesting choice.
It's a book that I feel like so many people have read and found a lot of wisdom in.
Yeah.
And we want to look at it specifically through the lens of coaching.
Okay.
For those of you who haven't read it or just need a refresher,
Yeah.
the four agreements are: be impeccable with your word.
Right.
Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. And always do your best.
Mm-hmm.
And we really want to unpack those and see what kind of specific wisdom we can apply to our journeys as coaches.
And it is ancient wisdom too, right? Based on the Tolteekse tradition.
The Toltec wisdom. And it is interesting how he presents them as almost like a code of conduct.
Yes.
A set of principles that can just radically transform our lives.
Not only personally, but professionally too.
Absolutely.
And I think for those of you building your coaching practices, the first agreement, be impeccable with your word, is just so important.
Yes.
Because Ruiz really emphasizes that our words create reality.
Yes.
They shape reality, not just for ourselves, but for our clients.
Absolutely. And as coaches, that's what we're doing all the time.
Yes.
We're using words to guide our clients, asking powerful questions, reframing perspectives,
It's all about
helping them to shift their thinking.
Right.
Our words can literally empower them to break through limitations.
And on the other hand, Ruiz is very strong about the fact that we can also use words for what he calls black magic.
Oh, yes.
Which is really, for us as coaches, could be the negativity of gossip.
Yeah.
Whether it's about clients or colleagues or even ourselves, right?
Yes.
It's all very detrimental because it just erodes trust.
Yes.
And that is the foundation of our work.
It's like we're sending out these negative vibes that can poison the well, so to speak, both for our own mindset and for the relationships that we're trying to build.
Absolutely. And he has this really powerful example in the book.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
To illustrate this, where he talks about a woman who, in a moment of stress, tells her daughter she has an ugly singing voice. And even though it was unintentional, those words had a lasting impact on the daughter's confidence and self-belief.
Wow.
So imagine if you unintentionally planted that seed of self-doubt in a client.
Yeah, that's a responsibility that we carry as coaches.
Huge responsibility.
To be using our words consciously and intentionally.
Not only in sessions, but in all areas of our lives.
Yes, walking the talk, being the example.
Yeah, because that authenticity and integrity is what attracts clients.
Yes.
Creates lasting impact.
Okay, let's move on to the second agreement. Don't take anything personally.
That's a big one.
This one I feel is especially crucial for coaches.
Yes.
Dealing with client feedback.
Right.
Navigating those ups and downs of building a business and handling those inevitable rejections.
It's a game changer.
It is.
When you really think about it. It's basically challenging us to detach our sense of self from the actions and opinions of others.
Which is hard as a coach, I think.
Yes. That's
because we're putting ourselves out there.
Yeah. Very vulnerable.
And it can be easy to take that feedback to heart.
Because we make it about us.
Yes.
Our ego or insecurities, rather than seeing the situation objectively.
So how do we apply that in a practical way? Because there is valuable feedback.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
You've hit on a very important point.
And we have to be able to discern between the constructive critique and the negativity that we shouldn't take personally.
Absolutely. It's not about becoming insensitive or ignoring feedback.
Right.
It's about recognizing that other people's reactions are often a reflection of their own experiences, beliefs, and yes, sometimes their own baggage.
Yeah.
It's about developing that inner resilience, that ability to detach from the emotional charge of the situation.
So instead of getting defensive when a client's dissatisfied, we can approach it with curiosity.
Yes.
Asking clarifying questions to understand their perspective.
Absolutely. That's a great application of this.
We can use it as an opportunity for growth, both for ourselves and for the relationship.
And Ruiz says that everyone is living in their own movie,
yes,
seeing the world through their own unique set of agreements.
Yes.
So when we understand that, we can start to separate the message from the messenger.
Right. Yeah, it's like putting on that emotional armor.
Yeah.
That helps to deflect the negativity bullets.
Exactly.
That could really derail our confidence in our practice.
It frees us up to focus on what we can control.
Yes.
Our responses, our actions, and our continuous growth as coaches.
And remember, as coaches, we're often guiding our clients through this very process.
Right.
Helping them to detach from those beliefs and negative self-talk.
We are living examples.
Yes.
Right? Of this transformative power.
Absolutely.
When we embody it ourselves.
Exactly.
Welcome back to our deep dive on the 4 agreements for coaches.
Yes. And we've been talking about how these agreements can be so powerful in our coaching journey, and especially those first 2. Be impeccable with your word.
Yes.
And don't take anything personally.
Yeah.
But let's dive into that 3rd agreement. Don't make assumptions.
Ooh, that's a good one.
This one, I feel like, is a game changer for those of us building our coaching practice.
Absolutely, because it's all about communication.
Yes.
Which, as you know, is the heart of coaching.
Yes.
And Ruiz argues that assumptions are really just the breeding ground for misunderstandings,
yes.
for conflict, and for missed opportunities.
I can see that in so many ways in the coaching context.
Oh, yeah.
Misinterpreting a client's needs.
Uh-huh.
Making assumptions about their progress.
Right.
Or even assuming that we know the best approach.
Yes.
Without truly listening to their challenges.
That's a big one.
It is.
Because, we're not mind readers.
No.
Ruiz emphasizes that over and over again.
Yes.
Ask clarifying questions, seek to understand, don't project our own assumptions.
This reminds me of that part in the book where he talks about that couple.
Oh, yeah.
And they were constantly assuming they know what each other are thinking and feeling.
Right.
And it leads to resentment and the relationship crumbles.
Classic example.
It is.
And it can happen so easily in a coaching relationship, too, if we're not careful.
Yes. If we're not careful and those assumptions are unvoiced.
Yeah.
It creates that disconnect.
Right. It leads to frustration, lack of progress.
Yes.
Breakdown in trust.
Okay, so how do we break free from this trap? How do we as coaches make sure we're having clear communication with clients?
First and foremost, I would say it's about cultivating that mindset of curiosity.
Okay.
Right? Instead of jumping to conclusions,
yes,
approach each interaction with a desire to understand.
Go ahead.
Ask open-ended questions.
Yes.
Listen actively. Reflect back to make sure you're both on the same page.
Seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Yes, exactly.
It's about creating that safe space.
Safe space.
Where clients can truly express themselves.
And this applies not only to our coaching sessions,
Oh.
but to how we attract clients.
Yeah.
Don't assume you know your ideal client.
Yes.
Do your market research.
Yes.
Ask questions. Listen to their stories.
That's such a good point because it's so easy to think that we know what our audience wants.
Yeah.
Without actually doing that work.
And a lot of coaches get that wrong with their marketing.
Yes.
They're putting out generic messages that don't resonate.
Yes.
Because they're based on assumptions, not insights.
So don't make assumptions is like a secret weapon for good marketing.
It is.
It is.
Because it's about clarity, internal and external.
Yes.
And that clarity leads to those authentic connections.
Yes.
Stronger client relationships.
Yes.
And ultimately, a more fulfilling and impactful coaching practice.
Before we move on to the 4th agreement,
okay,
I want to point out how these agreements are interconnected.
They are.
We've talked about be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. And now don't make assumptions.
Yes.
It's like they're building on each other.
They do. They really do.
They're pieces of a puzzle. And they work together.
Yes. You can't really fully embody one without the others.
For example, if we're not impeccable with our word, we might unintentionally plant those seeds of self-doubt,
right,
which would make it harder for the client to then not take things personally.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if we're always assuming, we're not creating that space for trust and communication.
They're like threads.
Yes.
In a tapestry, weaving together a powerful framework.
Which brings us to the 4th agreement.
Okay.
And this one resonates with me the most, I think. Always do your best.
That's a powerful one.
It is.
And I think it speaks to the heart of coaching.
Yes, it does.
Really?
But when I first read it, I was like, okay, well, that's pretty self-explanatory.
Right. Give it your all.
Yes. 110% all the time.
Right.
But then Ruiz adds some nuance, which I think is really important, especially for those of us who are high achievers.
Yes.
Prone to burnout.
Absolutely.
He emphasizes that your best is going to fluctuate.
Yes, it will.
Some days it's showing up with energy, leading group coaching, creating content.
Right.
And other days, your best is taking a break.
Honoring your need for rest.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Saying no.
Yes.
Right.
It's hard.
To that extra client.
It is.
To that extra project.
It is.
Because there's that pressure.
Yes.
To always be on.
Yes.
To be that source of support.
To show up for everybody.
But we're human too.
Yes, we are.
And if we're not taking care of ourselves, we can't show up for anyone.
This makes me think of that story he tells about the man who goes to the Buddhist master and asks how long it'll take him to reach enlightenment.
Right.
If he meditates for 4 hours a day.
Right.
And the master's like, well, if you meditate for 4 hours a day, you'll reach enlightenment in 10 years.
And then the guy's like, well, what if I meditate for 8 hours a day?
Right.
And the master says, it'll probably take you 20 years.
Yeah, I love that story.
It's so good.
Because it's not about pushing yourself to exhaustion or sacrificing your joy. It's about finding that sweet spot where you're putting forth the effort.
Yes.
But also enjoying the journey.
Yes.
Honoring your needs, allowing yourself to rest and recharge.
This is a big lesson for me.
Yes.
As a coach, I think for a lot of us.
I think so too.
We get so caught up in the hustle of achieving the goals.
Yeah.
And we forget to just appreciate where we are.
Savor the moment.
Yes, savor the moment, appreciate the small wins.
Always do. Your best is an invitation.
It is.
To release the guilt and the self-judgment. It's about recognizing that some days your mess is going to be different than others.
Yes.
And that's okay.
It is.
It's the intention behind the action that matters most.
It's about showing up consistently, honoring our boundaries, investing in our growth, and finding the joy in building our practice.
It's a way of life.
It is.
It's not just a motivational slogan. It's much deeper than that.
Now, Ruiz doesn't stop at the 4 agreements.
He doesn't.
He goes on to introduce us to a concept that he says can really take our understanding
deeper
to a whole new level.
Yes. He calls it the Toltec path to freedom.
Yes.
It's a journey of self-discovery and mastery that can transform not just our careers, but our lives.
And this is comprised of 4 masteries, right?
Yes.
There's the mastery of awareness, the mastery of transformation, the mastery of intent.
Yes.
But then there's a 4th.
There is.
And this one is really interesting.
This one might surprise you.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
The 4th mastery is the mastery of death.
Okay. Wow, that's not what I was expecting.
A little intimidating.
A little bit, maybe even a little morbid. But I trust that there's some deeper meaning here.
Oh, absolutely.
That can apply to our coaching journey.
Yes, because in the Toltec tradition, death is seen as a powerful teacher, a guide to living a more authentic and fulfilling life.
Okay.
So it's not about being obsessed with dying or dwelling on the negative.
Okay.
But it's about using that awareness of our own mortality to fuel our aliveness.
Okay.
To appreciate each moment, to live with that sense of purpose.
Right. It really puts things into perspective when you think about it like that.
Right.
Like all of a sudden, all those little worries and anxieties just seem to fade away.
The things that are holding us back.
Yes, exactly.
They lose their power.
Because in the grand scheme of things, they just don't matter that much.
He uses this great thought experiment in the book.
Okay.
Imagine you only have a week to live.
Ooh.
How would you live differently?
Yeah.
How would you interact with people?
Right.
What dreams would you finally pursue?
Yeah, I would definitely be a lot more present, a lot more focused on enjoying each moment, and probably a lot more courageous in taking risks and pursuing what really matters.
And that is the essence of the mastery of death.
Yes.
It's about using that awareness of our limited time to fuel our passion and commitment.
Yes.
And our willingness to step outside of our comfort zones.
So for us as coaches, this could mean finally launching that course, writing that book.
Yes.
Speaking at that conference. We're just showing up for our clients more authentically.
Or letting go of that perfectionism, embracing that learning process.
Yes.
Not being afraid to make mistakes.
Because as Ruiz says, death takes away the past in order to make it possible for life to continue.
That's so good.
It's a powerful reminder to let go of the past and create a future that aligns with our values.
I'm really starting to see how all of this applies to coaching.
Me too.
How these insights from the 4 agreements can help us build really extraordinary and fulfilling careers.
And in our next part, we're going to dive into how to translate all of this into practical steps and actionable strategies.
We will.
To help you achieve greater success and fulfillment.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Welcome back, coaches. We've been exploring the 4 agreements and how those Toltec teachings can really help us in our coaching career.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey.
It has. It's been a deep dive.
Deep dive, yes.
From the power of words to that concept of the mastery of death.
Right.
But now let's talk about how we can actually apply all of this.
Yes, let's get practical.
How do we take those masteries? Awareness, transformation, intent, and death. And really use them to attract clients, create impact, and build a sustainable business?
Well, I think a great place to start is with the mastery of awareness.
Okay.
Remember that it's about shining a light on those limiting beliefs, those assumptions that are holding you back.
Right.
As coaches, this could mean examining those beliefs about money, about success, even about our own worthiness as a coach.
Ooh, yeah.
Right.
That self-doubt can creep in.
Ask yourself, what stories am I telling myself that might be sabotaging my efforts?
Because you can't change what you don't acknowledge.
Exactly.
We have to be able to see it first.
If we're operating from a place of scarcity or fear, it's going to show up.
It will?
In our marketing, our pricing, our client interactions.
That's everything.
Yes.
So how do we even start to become aware of those negative thought patterns?
Well, journaling can be a great tool.
Yeah, journaling is great.
Or just taking some quiet time for reflection, Yeah. Ask yourself the tough questions and be honest about the answers.
And maybe even enlist the support of a mentor.
Oh, absolutely.
Or coach.
Having that external perspective can be so helpful.
It can.
For identifying those blind spots.
Yes.
And once you've identified those beliefs, you can start to challenge them, question their validity, and replace them with more empowering ones.
So it's not enough to just be aware. We have to shift it.
Right. That's where the mastery of transformation comes in. It's like rewiring our mental and emotional circuitry.
I like that. Yeah.
So if you've been telling yourself, I'm not good at marketing, try taking a course, experiment with a new strategy, or commit to showing up consistently on social media.
Okay, so take action.
Right. Action is key.
Yeah.
And as you experience those small wins, your confidence will grow.
Yes.
And that reinforces that new belief.
It's like building a muscle.
It is.
The more we do it, the stronger it gets.
Ruiz emphasizes repetition, consistency.
Yes.
That's how we create lasting change.
Now, the mastery of intent.
Okay.
This one is a little more abstract, I feel like.
Yeah, but it's so important.
It is.
It's about aligning your actions with your deepest values, your purpose.
I love that because I feel like when you're coming from that place of purpose, the work becomes more meaningful and fulfilling.
Absolutely. So take some time to really reflect on those values as a coach.
Okay.
What do you care about?
Yeah.
What impact do you want to make?
Yes.
And once you've clarified those values, use them as your compass.
I like that.
Guide your actions.
This makes me think about how we talked about attracting clients.
Yes.
When we're really aligned with our values, it attracts those right clients.
It's like a magnetic force.
It is.
Pulling in those who resonate with you.
And the mastery of intent applies to more than just attracting clients.
It does.
It's how we show up.
Absolutely.
In our sessions, how present we are, how much empathy we have.
Are you holding space for your client?
Yes.
Right?
It's about bringing that intentionality.
Yes, that service.
Yes.
Love, compassion.
To everything we do.
And to ourselves.
Yes, self-care.
Right. Are we treating ourselves with the same kindness and respect that we offer to our clients?
That can be hard.
It can be.
Because we're so focused on giving to others.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
That's so true.
The mastery of intent reminds us that self-care is not selfish.
It's not.
It's essential.
Okay, so we've explored the first three masteries.
Okay.
Awareness, transformation, and intent.
Right.
But now let's talk about the mastery of death.
Okay.
This is a big one.
It is.
How do we even approach this?
Well, remember, it's not about being morbid.
Okay.
It's about using that awareness of our mortality
to
fuel our aliveness.
So how do we apply that?
Take action.
Okay.
Don't wait for that perfect moment. It might never come.
So just do it.
Yeah, but with soul.
Okay. I like that. Just do it with soul.
Recognizing that our time is precious.
Yeah.
And that we have a choice in how we spend it.
And it can help us overcome that fear of failure, right?
Absolutely.
If we're constantly worried about what other people think.
Right. Or what we might lose.
It paralyzes us.
It does.
But if we just accept that failure is part of the process, it takes its power away. Exactly.
Death takes away the past to make way for the future.
Let go of those past mistakes. Release that fear of judgment. Step boldly into the unknown.
This makes me think about all those coaches that are stuck in analysis paralysis.
Oh, I know, right?
Overthinking every little detail.
Yeah.
Maybe embracing the mastery of death gives them that courage to just put their work out there.
Just do it.
Yes, exactly.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
And remember, the mastery of death isn't just about overcoming fear.
Right.
It's also about appreciating the beauty of each moment.
Yes, that preciousness.
So we're approaching our client work with gratitude.
Gratitude, appreciation.
And that makes it more fulfilling.
Absolutely, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
And finally, think about your legacy.
Okay.
What do you want to be remembered for as a coach?
What impact do you want to leave?
Because, as Ruiz says, we're all a part of something bigger than ourselves.
And our actions have ripple effects.
How can I use my coaching to make a positive impact?
How can you create that dream of heaven for yourself and your clients?
That's a powerful question.
It is.
As we wrap up our deep dive into the 4 agreements, I'm feeling so inspired, but also challenged. It's a journey, not a quick fix.
It is a journey
of self-discovery and transformation.
And as coaches, we have the potential to be powerful agents of change.
Yes, we do.
Not just in our own lives, but in the lives of those we serve.
By embracing these masteries, aligning our actions with love and wisdom, we create that positive ripple effect.
That's a legacy worth striving for.
It is. So go forth, fellow coaches. Embrace your power, create your dream, and let your light shine.